What's going on, guys? ¿Cómo están? BugaLuis here, and welcome back to another video here on the channel. And today we're going to do another live reaction. Today one is going to be about Nigeria beating Iceland 2-0. Quite surprising, to be honest. I actually was thinking that Iceland were going to beat Nigeria quite easily, and they could have. The first half was very disappointing for Nigeria, gotta say. For most of the time, I was really surprised how bad were they playing. They were really bad. I talked before in the reaction between Brazil and Costa Rica that Nigeria were falling into the same thing that Argentina were perhaps sometimes doing, and that is not having a normal system that they can recreate every single match in and match out. However, this time around, they something happened. Like, their mentality, their attitude just changed, and they played really good in the second half. They were really intense, and they didn't allow Iceland to basically do anything at all. But that more on that later. Before I just want to start, I want to give you the lineups for Serbia versus Switzerland that is coming right up. We're gonna see Vladimir Stoichkov, Branislav Ivanovic, Nikola Milenkovic, Dusko Tosic, Alexander Kolarov forming up the back five, basically with the goalkeeper obviously, Luka Milojevic, and then Nemanja Matic, the two CDMs, and then Dusan Tadic, Sergej Milinkovic-Savic, and Filip Kostic, the three behind the main striker, which is going to be Alexander Mitrovic. And in Switzerland, we're going to see Jan Sommer, Stefan Lichtsteiner, Fabian Schär, Manuel Akanji, Ricardo Rodriguez, so the back five, Byron Behrami, then Granit Xhaka, Sharon Shaqiri, Desmali, Suber, and Haris Seferovic. So the main thing that the main squad, the main 11 that they played before in the other two games. But why did I want to mention this? The main thing I wanted to mention this is how important for me is to replicate the same 11. That same 11, I think, time and time again, is one of the most important things you can have in a football game. It's really reliable, and you need to be able to continue playing with the same players, the same players, the same formation, the same system time and time again. Although sometimes, like we saw today, you can really get surprised. You can get surprised on how changing the tactics can really bring the best out of the team, like we saw with Nigeria today. I gotta say that once again, for the start, they were playing really bad, and I was really surprised that Iceland weren't lucky enough to get a goal. They were really good, Iceland, because it was very different, this match, according to Argentina's match in comparison to them, because against Argentina, they could wait a little bit. They could wait a little bit to try and get a result, you know, because that's the main thing that they wanted. But now they needed to go for the win. They need to go for the win, or they need to go for the draw. They had to actually be the main team showing football. They had to be the team who needed to go there and win. They weren't the underdogs anymore, and that's the thing that I think hurt Iceland in the long run. They are so accustomed to being the underdogs, and when they had to be in the spotlight, that doesn't work too often. And that's why I think perhaps Iceland weren't as good today as they were before, because in the last matches they've played against Portugal, they've played against in major tournaments, I'm saying, against Portugal, they've played against England, they play against France and against Argentina, and of all of those matches they've only lost one, and that was until France, against France. So that tells you a lot. They're accustomed to being the underdogs, but now when you're no longer the underdogs, when you need to be the team going there and getting the win, getting the score, getting the result, they're not as good at doing that, because I don't think that they have the system and players to actually try and do that. So I think that they should always try and be the underdog. They should always try Nigeria to come forward, because Nigeria were making too many mistakes coming forward in the first half. Well, it was really interesting to see how Iceland never could take advantage of them, because they never really had that. They had opportunities, but they weren't concrete at all, and that's why they went 0-0 to the second half. The second half was much different. Something must have happened in the dressing room in Nigeria, because they came out to eat blood. They came out to eat the freaking grass. They were so intense. They were really fast. They were doing absolutely everything on point, margin, everything. But the most important thing here, I thought, would be changing up the formation and actually having Musa and Iheanacho at the same level. They push Iheanacho further back, allowing to Musa to have a bigger space up top for him to drift left or right, wherever he wanted to. And that's how we saw the very first goal that came from an amazing counterattack, an amazing play for Victor Moses. And that's, again, by trying to drift Iheanacho a little bit in, Victor Moses doesn't have to worry too much about going inside or going outside. He can only stick to the line, and that's something that he did very great. And it was very good. A complete collective play of Nigeria had just 1 second. They can turn it around, go in, get the goal through Musa, amazing. Musa now is one of the players who have scored 2 braces in 2 different World Cups. First one was against Argentina 2-2 in the last Brazil 2014 World Cup, and now he has scored 2 more against Iceland here in 2014, in 2008, in 2018. My God! But what amazing goals he has scored. The first one was a real beauty, but for me the second one was much better. It was just one touch, one clearance. It seemed like a clearance. I don't know if it was a pass, to be honest. The second one, and it fell onwards into him, and he just managed to somehow not get beaten by the physicality of somebody like Severson, which is the right back for Iceland. I just was really surprised. How did he not manage to get kicked by him? He was really, really good to keep his ground. Then he was brave enough to face off the goalkeeper. He was even faster to get the mark away from him. And then he had the time and the confidence to stop the ball, look at the goal, and decide where he wanted to put it. That's how insane Musa was, and all because it started off with a clearance or pass. I don't know what happened, but one moment of getting checked off, like one moment of not being concentrated, can really hurt you in a game. And we've seen that with Costa Rica, we've seen that with Peru, we've seen that with Iran or something like that. And at the end of the day, that's what happens when you play with against teams like this. Not like this is happening in Nigeria, but I mean teams that are attacking you, and teams that are certainly not gonna have too many chances, but the chances they get, they put it in, and the chances you don't get, the chances you get, but you don't perform them effectively, that's where you get hurt. And that's what I think about Iceland happened, because their best chance for Iceland was in the first half, and then Nigeria just grew so much confidence. Nigeria grew so much. I'm telling you, Nigeria just went from 0 to 100 in 2 minutes. In 2 minutes. They were absolutely insane. I'm telling you, they were really, really good. I was really surprised. Not more about the performance of Nigeria, because we've seen Nigeria perform like that before. We've seen them beat Argentina. We've seen them beat Bosnia and Herzegovina in the last World Cup. But we haven't seen. But this Nigeria against Croatia was so bad. This Nigeria in the first half was so bad. I'm telling you, those were like the worst teams I've seen in the World Cup this World Cup. Nigeria for me was at the bottom of the worst teams right now in the competition. But in 45 minutes, in 2 minutes exactly, in just 15 minutes in the dressing room, they went from being one of the worst to one of the best. They went so in. They went in the match. Jono Mikel was so good. People like Ndidi were also impressive. And did you see that shot from Ndidi that almost hit the post? It took a deflection and then hit the post, or the goalkeeper saved it, and oh my God. Overall, I gotta say that Nigeria did good. Nigeria did what they had to do, and now they have handed on Argentina and Messi a lifeline where anything can happen now, because not only did they win, but they also win by 2 goals, which actually takes Iceland to -2 with takes Iceland to 1 point and a -2 goal difference. I want to check right now the stats. Argentina, for instance, are with 1 point and -3 goal difference. Nigeria are with 3 points, and Croatia are with 6 points. Croatia are already in first place. The thing now is going to be between Nigeria, Iceland, and Argentina. It's going to be a direct matchup between Nigeria and Argentina. So I think one of them may go through. Croatia versus Iceland, I don't know really what can happen. Croatia certainly are going to be the main team, and that's where Iceland can be good, because Iceland, like I said, are better working as underdogs. So if they work as underdogs, they can certainly get the result against Croatia. I think that could happen, but Iceland can only now get the draw. They only need the win. They only need the win. So if they beat Croatia, they go to 4 points. But depending on how many goals they win by, I mean, if they draw, they're out. But they need to get at least 2 goals to try and be confident that Argentina are not going to beat Nigeria by a lot. Nigeria can have a little bit of a safe ground in terms that if they draw, they are going to be the highest team with better goal difference. So I think that Nigeria should try and get the draw or the win against Argentina. A win will almost qualify them already to the next round. But the main thing here is about what's going to happen with Iceland and Croatia. Also Argentina, Argentina versus Nigeria is going to be intense, because Nigeria has always been a team that has complicated Argentina because of the playing style and what happens within the pitch. But the most important thing here, I think, is that even though Argentina may win, they will need a lot more goal difference. They will be up to 4, and they will need to be waiting of Iceland versus Croatia. This group is so open. This group is absolutely open. It's so open. So freaking open. I'm really surprised how open it is. Like, I'm telling you guys, this can go in every single direction, in every single way possible. If it was up to me, I think that Nigeria will draw against Argentina. I really think Nigeria may get the draw against Argentina. Because Argentina playing like this, like yesterday, they're not going to go anywhere. I'm playing against Iceland, even worse. So it's all about Argentina. But do you really guys see Argentina getting the win against Nigeria? Do you see that? Do you see that? Because without the system, without anything, like I'm telling you guys, they haven't given us a single evidence, a single clue on why can Argentina be better. Because they have been sucking. They've been sucking completely throughout this competition. So, I don't know. Croatia versus Nigeria, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? That's the main thing here, guys. That's the main theory, guys. What's going to happen? Something else before moving on, I just want to mention is that in the first half, Nigeria had, I think, one shot or 2 shots. Okay, Iceland had, I think, about 7. And then in the second half, at the end of the match, Nigeria had 16 shots and Iceland had 9. So Iceland 2 shots in the second half and Nigeria went ham. Sorry guys, I'm tired. Nigeria went and scored and shot 14 times more. That's insane. That's insane. So that really tells you how they went from one to another. I cannot believe it. I cannot believe it, to be honest. Nigeria were from 0, they went to 100, like in 2 minutes. It's insane. Absolutely insane. And something else before just wrapping this up is that VAR is working. VAR is working really effectively. Like, this one was a penalty kick where someone may have gotten it wrong because of the angle. The angle didn't really tell you too much. Of course, you could see the player was coming down, but you don't know whether the angle was going to be a penalty. That penalty Sigurdsson miss. I gotta say that we cannot blame Sigurdsson from that. It's obviously very, very hard, especially going in your debut, you know? Your debut, scoring penalty, you have the chance to come back into the game. It's always gonna be very, very hard, especially even if you're the best player, knowing all that pressure. So we cannot blame Sigurdsson on that. We really cannot blame Sigurdsson on that. And something, do not celebrate a penalty until it's over. Because I saw a guy like in the stands who was like shouting at a guy in Nigeria like, yeah, come on, we're getting a penalty. And I'm like, but he was like insulting them or something like that. And I was like, what's the point in doing that? You're losing and you haven't even scored the penalty yet. And after then they missed and the other guy from Nigeria was like, I don't care. I don't care. You shut up. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Like, I'm talking about being correct, talking about being humble. But this guy from Iceland, I don't know what's going on. Like, you cannot be humble. You cannot feel like you're the best in the world. You're Iceland. Like, you're a really small country. You have to be humble. I think humble is like within your country's within like your country's ideals. Like, you're Iceland, come on, you're not big at all. But that doesn't mean they're bad. That's the main thing that I'm telling you guys. So guys, hopefully you have enjoyed this video. Please remember to drop us a like and leave us a subscribe. See you in the next one. In 3 hours time, it's going to be Serbia versus Switzerland. It's going to be an intense match, really, really good. Whoever wins this match is going to go through to the next round. Serbia will certainly need to try and get the win here to qualify automatically. But if Switzerland wins this one, I got to say that it's going to be even tougher because now Serbia will face Brazil. And we've seen Brazil, however, here in this entirety of the World Cup, struggling sometimes against Switzerland and also against Costa Rica. I think certainly Serbia has a little bit more chance than Costa Rica and Switzerland. But the main thing is going to be about which Brazil team is going to show up, because also Brazil need to get the points, because let's remember that with 4 points. So it's going to be intense to see what happens. So hopefully guys you have enjoyed. Please remember to drop us a like and leave us a subscribe. Follow us in all other social media to keep up to date. See you in the next one. Take care. Ciao.